Hello, this is Dr. J back with some more Let's Play Advance Wars Days of Ruin. I'm kinda tired today, and I was gonna go for a walk, but I stepped outside and it was like walking into a wall of warm water. It was so humid. So I came right back inside and I was like, nope, let's record some Advance Wars instead. Thankfully, I have a naturally very cool house that stays pretty comfortable even when it's quite hot outside. I don't even need air conditioning, which is pretty great in the summer. It is not so great in the winter, but you know, everything's a give and take. Anyway, if I'm kind of out of it even more than usual, all of that is the reason why. So let's move on to Chapter 5, A New Ally. In the Lotra City Industrial Zone. As I recall, we got bamboozled by some rather duplicitous villagers, one of whom was apparently an old friend of O'Brien's, who turned out to be a typical scumbag politician. Maybe you've learned a lesson about being too trusting, O'Brien. And now we're going on a bandit hunt. We seem to do that a lot here in the early parts of the game. You certainly look like a scientist. I can tell because of your white lab coat. Question mark, question mark, question mark. We come in peace. Take us to your leader. Okay. Sure. If you say so. That's worthy of 24 dots, Dr. Moritz. That's a lot of dots. I mean, I thought it was mildly amusing. We got it, we got it. Jokes tend to lose their humor pretty quickly when you start repeating them, Dr. Moritz. Well, looks like it's time for more fighting. Man, these guys, they just don't give up. Aha, now we learn how to use factories. Okay, now I'm confused about the tech level. It looks like World War II or Cold War era weaponry, and yet we have automated weapons factories. I guess it's just the aesthetic they're going for, and that's fine. I just realized this place doesn't look all post-apocalyptic and stuff. It's actually, you know, it's green. That's actually a part of the world that wasn't completely ravaged. I mean, it's never really been safe to fully trust just anybody. Alright, try not to stab us in the back like that other slime ball, okay, Dr. Moritz? Alright, let's get that rockin' music going! Let's do it! Alright, so motorbikes can capture factories. That makes sense, because they are classified as infantry. We don't get the goofy jumping up and down on the building animation, which makes sense, since this game has a much more serious tone. Roger that. Oh, and I suppose I should close the tutorial. It's this loser again. He just never learns. You know, you'd have a more successful bandit career if you wouldn't throw away all your troops trying to fight us over and over again. I'm just saying. Let's not blindly stumble into range of his stuff. Okay, so it's safe to go out to about here. I suppose it would have made more sense to send this guy forward and capture the factory with this bazooka. So, minor error there. I highly doubt that that's going to cost us the mission this early on. Let's try to be a little less sloppy in future, I suppose. You know something that occurred to me about this game, all of a sudden? Is, it doesn't seem to have anything like CO powers so far, does it? I assume that's going to come into play later. It would feel pretty weird to play an Advance Wars game that doesn't have CO powers as a game mechanic. That was like the most distinctive thing in Advance Wars 1 and 2. The COs practically made that game. So I have to assume that we're going to get at least passive abilities and maybe some special active powers. Alright, factory captured. By the way, I didn't mention it, but it was a pretty cool looking automated factory with those grungy looking cathode ray tube monitors and just all very almost sort of rusty and robotic looking. Some great looking ominous retro future tech. I really dug it. Yep, that is how it works. I will admit I'll be a little disappointed if CO powers don't come into play, since it's such a major part of Advance Wars. We will see. I mean, he's not really using all that complicated of words, Ed. Mm-hmm. Excellent. Now, obviously, the enemy pretty badly outnumbers us and has better quality units in addition to numbers, which means using the factories effectively is going to be pretty crucial here. I should maybe get some first strike advantage on them, just to hold them off a bit. We do have one light tank. I don't want to just blindly get into range of the enemies. There, obviously, because we're so outnumbered, we will get overrun, but these guys are basically just executing a delaying action. Well, hold on, we probably get no defensive bonus from the road, right? Maybe I should just finish off this guy? Yeah, whatever. They'll probably come for my artillery. I should maybe back it off a bit. Okay, it's still in range. Whatever. Yep, that still works the same way. Okay, I figured that would happen. I didn't move my artillery back far enough. I couldn't... Oh, that was more damage than I expected. I wasn't really able to judge how far the enemy recon could move. I'm sure I could have meticulously counted it out, but I didn't do that. This is the first mission where I actually feel pretty threatened. Like, I could actually screw this one up and lose, because the enemy starts with pretty superior forces. That's the plan, Dr. Moritz. Yes, the stylus. I think we're going to want tanks. Looks like I have 14,000. You can repair. You... I guess continue to delay the enemy. Not that I think he'll be able to delay them for very often, but... Very long. Not that he'll be able to delay them for very long. This guy, I think, should just straight up run. Or... Well, 2 versus 7. We wouldn't be able to get much done. Yeah, just run. And this is the end of our tank. Yes. But yeah, the enemy has us quite badly outnumbered here. It's quite a problem, really. Still, since we have a factory, as long as we can hold them off, we'll be able to produce enough units to overwhelm them eventually. Sadly, this motorbike can't really get at any enemies, so we'll just go capture... Never mind, we already control that. I guess we'll move over here to capture this. Let's get another tank. Jeez, this recon's too messed up to be of any use at all, really. Just sit here and be a target. No, don't fire. Wait. Mechs are still so slow, it's hard to get them into position. Guess you can be a target, too. That's always been the big problem with mechs. They're so freaking slow. It's hard to get them to where you need them. Did the computer just combine 2 units into 1? I am pretty sure it never did that in the original. It went by so fast, maybe I'm mistaken, but I feel like it just combined 2 injured units. Yeah, it's interesting after fighting on so many blasted wastelands, actually fighting on a more verdant battlefield. We need more tanks. Would have thought you could use your bazookas against an enemy motorbike. I guess not. I guess you just keep sitting there and taking hits. Yeah, let's try to move the artillery into position to where it can provide some fire support. Or, at a bare minimum, be a target. Okay, the tank is probably going to finish them off. Oh, okay, the CPU is definitely combining units. Oh, okay, the tank decided to go for my artillery instead. So CPU's AI has definitely been upgraded. So 6 versus 9 from a city with first strike. How would that go for us? Let's try it. Although I probably should have softened it up with the artillery first, so that was a mistake. Should have done this the other way around. Making a lot of little mistakes, but like I said, I'm pretty tired and wiped out at the moment, so I'm going to cut myself some slack. More tanks. We're going to tank rush like it's CNC. I have a feeling that wouldn't go great. No. You might want to just retreat. You're probably dead, but I guess you can sit there and see if you can survive for another turn. And yeah, definitely dead. No! Oh yeah, the enemy was badly weakened, that's true. But okay, that's it for the artillery. That's fine. Surprise, you're still alive, but again, the tank that tried to finish you was very weakened. And this should finish it off. Excellent. (26% against 3 hit points. This might not be a finishing blow. Okay, but it was. Don't know if that secret luck stat from Reboot Camp is still in effect, but probably. You need to die because you could try to capture my factory. Not to mention just sit on it and prevent me from building anything. More tanks. It's like a caveman. Tank, 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 tank. I guess you can continue sitting there and taking hits. Oh, the hero unit is finally defeated. They lasted a long time. There we go. Okay, R still fast forwards. We'll probably start doing that. I think we've seen these animations enough that we don't need to see it at the slowest speed every time. The time may eventually come when we just turn them off completely for some missions, but we're certainly not at that point yet. Alright. Let's move in to finish off the remaining enemies. More tanks. But yeah, the early stages of this mission actually felt a little threatening. I think this is maybe the first mission where you could realistically screw it up badly enough to fail. So you can see that difficulty curve starting to ramp up a little. But you just need to survive the initial stages and get to the point where you can build enough to overwhelm the enemy. Okay, there we go. It's that button to get their attack range. That's safe. Yep. Tanks. it inside their range and tear them up. Oh, that's a pretty cool battle background. I see, that's the enemy HQ. Could I have captured that as my victory condition? I could have. I didn't have to wipe out all enemies, though probably would have done anyway in this particular case. Sometimes the sneaky HQ capture is the best way to win, but here I think routing the enemy is just as easy, if not easier. Oh, I can't afford a tank. Fine, let's build some motorbikes to capture. Not that it's going to matter, because this guy's going to die next turn, and we're going to win. Nice spike kill, jerk. I just realized that tank said ace. Is there a veterancy system in this game? Your units get better as they get kills or get into fights. Kinda looks like that may be true. Interesting. I will say, once again, there's a little bit of strange disconnect between the palette of the map tile set and what the terrain is actually supposed to look like. In the case of the more wasteland levels, it's very pink and kind of looks like Mars on the map screen, but then the battle backgrounds look much more brown and kind of blasted wasteland. And here, the battle backgrounds are kind of more desaturated, and even though obviously there's a lot of greenery and life, it just looks kind of dark and bleak, but it looks incredibly bright and cheerful on the actual battle map tiles. So just like I said, a little bit of a strange disconnect there. I would have expected the tile set to look more brown for the wasteland maps and darker for this more verdant map. Okay, that makes absolutely no logical sense whatsoever, but I guess it's our explanation for why we don't carry over units that we build in one mission to the next. Honestly, I think they could have just skipped explaining that at all. I don't feel like I really needed a reason for that. Because honestly, the reason that they gave makes less sense than if they just ignored it. Yeah, it wasn't a great performance. So I certainly accept a B. No argument here. Lab rats. Literal lab rats? So you're not just a scientist, you're an actual medical doctor type doctor. Oh, you got 12 dots again. You have 12 dot rank jokes. I'll let you be the judge of whether that means they are good or bad. Why is everybody so down on Dr. Moritz and his dad jokes? I kind of like them. This is so brutal. Really? Interesting. More of a researcher than a medical practitioner, then. That's true. Logistics, logistics. Alright, that's another mission complete. We're at almost half an hour. Maybe a little bit on the short side, but I think that's a reasonable stopping point. So next episode, we're going to move on to Mission 6. I'll see you then.